Coming up on the Together for Good podcast, I have recorded for you 4 mini episodes that we're going to be releasing each week of the Advent season. I know this is often a time of year when people are looking for additional devotional reflections. And so I thought I'd put together some poems that I'd been working on that deal with the 4 themes of the Advent season. So we'll hear one about hope, week 1. Week 2 is a poem about peace, then a poem about joy, and finally, a poem about love. I hope you enjoy these mini episodes and that it can be an additional way for you to reflect on the promises and the gifts and the themes of this season. Here we go. Welcome to the Together for Good podcast, a podcast created by Bethany Lutheran Church in Cherry Hills Village, Colorado, and hosted by me, Pastor Nate Preisinger. On Together for Good, our goal is to provide practical, engaging content that supports you without expectations. Whether you're feeling disconnected from traditional religion or simply exploring what faith means in your life, we're here to walk alongside you. No matter where you are on your journey of faith, we're glad you're here. Welcome to Together for Good.
Imagine this. You're up too late, curled on the couch, enraptured by the story playing out on the screen. The hero is lost, and shot, and hanging by a thread from an edge of a burning building, and the music swells and the camera zooms and you can feel the character's doom, and then it all fades to black. And so you lie there in the blue light liturgy wondering, is our hero going to be okay? When Jesus says that there will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, when he says that there's just going to be distress among nations and roaring seas while people faint in fear over what is coming into the world, we might start to wonder, are we going to be okay? Some will hear Jesus' proclamation about the downfall of nations, and they'll grab cardboard and a marker and station themselves in a place where the crowds can hear as they aggressively shout, "The end is near!" As if God's hope is to scare us into belief. But this is what happens when you stop at the cliffhanger. We only need trust the episode auto-changer and start the next scene to glean that the hero's fate is not, in fact, checkmate. And we only need read a few lines more to realize that Jesus doesn't stop with shaking skies. Instead, the author steps back onto the set, not to torch it, but to mend it and set everything correct. Here's the strange thing. Hope and fear are emotions that share scope. When you're afraid, adrenaline spikes, pupils widen, and your pulse quickens. But when you're hopeful, adrenaline spikes, pupils widen, pulse quickens. It's the same body, it's the same buzz, but it's a completely different story. Fear whispers, this is the episode where everything ends. So lock the doors and keep out anyone who intends to cost you comfort. But the story of hope, on the other hand, hums. Hope hears the same news, feels the same knot in the gut, but instead says, let's imagine a different ending. Because we've seen the trailer for the finale. The Son of Man is coming, not to condemn, but to redeem. God is not done, and so we dream. We are invited to live now in a way as if God's promised future is spilling into today. Hope opens what fear closes. When fear builds higher fences, hope pulls up an extra chair. When fear says, strangers stay away, hope stammers, dear guest, come stay. Small, stubborn acts like these are not naive. They are just actions that perceive a season still to come, glimpses of God's kingdom, where every wound is tended, every relationship mended, every evil ended. So when Jesus says, when these things begin to draw near, stand up and lift your heads because redemption is here. Stand up, not because of fear, but in order to cohere to a different script. Raise your head, not to ignore the pain, but to proclaim something beyond it. Advent is the season for the church to sit in the dark with racing hearts as we witness the stark, broken state of our world, and yet we still choose to light a candle, a single flame, against the scrolling scandals. This little light dares to say the story doesn't end here. We have heard the final word, seen the hint of one more scene, Christ coming near, casting out fear, writing a brighter ending than we could ever stream or dream. So in the dark, we take our stand, heart in throat, match in hand, and with one quiet candle's flare, we trust that with God, the last line will always be like the first. Let there be light. Amen.